Um, well, jumping right in, I would just say I love the film. Absolutely adored it. It's such an enjoyable movie because I love the balance of romance, grief, and self-discovery and friendship because you don't usually get that full combination much anymore. So I was curious, what exactly attracted you to the role?
I think it was just that is the fact that it was such a multifaceted love story and it was taking, the classic format of Harlequin romance and the heart and the thrill and the adventure and the sweeping landscapes that we all love from those novels and modernizing it in a way that really fits CW and brings the comedy as well into such a beautiful story.
And of course, I love typically, I think traditionally, when you see the whole city slicker versus country aspect of it, there's like a leaning towards one or the other. And I love that this film didn't diminish either. Would you say that was like a very deliberate, intentional tone?
I think so. I think that was really important because the whole point of this love story is not that Heather changes to be with Cliff or Cliff changes to be with Heather. It's the fact that they both push each other out of their own comfort zones, literally by butting heads the entire film until they end up realizing that their priorities are actually very similar and that, this person challenges me and but also is my safe space and I can really be vulnerable while they're making me question everything I've ever thought about myself and my life. And maybe that's what I need. And somehow that feels really good. And it becomes, the way that they fall in love.
You kind of got a little bit into my next question because I was going to ask you to talk a bit about Heather's journey. She's a very layered character, and I really enjoyed watching that aspect of her just struggling with the grief and this new chapter in her life and just being a little lost and vulnerable. So can you talk a bit about the character?
Absolutely. I think we find Heather at a place where, as often happens in life, when it rains, it pours. She's just lost her mother after having the biggest success of her life with her best-selling novel, and now is kind of left picking up the pieces, wondering, what's my next chapter? Where do I go from here? What do I do now that my whole life has changed in good and bad ways? And then when she finds out that she has inherited this ranch in Montana, she is forced to take the literal bull by the horns and confront the very things she's been running from. But I find for myself too, every time I go back home and revisit my roots and learn more about my family history, it sort of resets and recenters me in a way that I think Heather really finds in this film.
And of course, I love a good friendship, especially female friendship on screen. And I just really love the great balance of her actually having this entire arc when it came to her friends. So can you talk a bit about that dynamic and exploring Heather, Jess, and Emily? I love they were so cute. I adore them, the three of
Oh, we had the best time. First of all, those gals did a great job and we had the most fun shooting together. But truly, I think the most important thing is that these each of these women, and this is really important to Annie Bradley, our director, as well as to myself, is that each of these women is running from something different, and each of these women has something they need to confront. And I don't know about you, but in my relationship with my close girlfriends, they're going to be my biggest supporters, but they're also the first people to call me out when I need to wake up and smell the coffee. And that's exactly what these girls do with each other, is they find ways to celebrate each other and celebrate each other's individualities, but also kind of forcing each other to confront the things that they're all avoiding. And that's a beautiful way in which we see all of these women grow as characters and as people in this film.
So who was your favorite scene partner and why was it the pig?
I was gonna say it's George. It's George all the way. By the way, Molly is actually George. Um, but George was a trooper, man. It was cold up there. George didn't have a coat on half the time. But I had to earn his respect. I really did. Sat with him a few cubes of cheese and freeze-dried strawberries, and we were old pals.
Where did you guys film in Canada?
Calgary, Alberta. Yeah.
Oh, so gorgeous. I love seeing so much. It was so pretty.
It was stunning. And I actually got to drive up to Banff and Lake Louise while I was up there, and it was
I
just the most beautiful place ever.
loved it. And of course, I love Heather and Cliff's romance. It evolves and it this very compelling way. So can you just talk a little bit about their romance and that relationship? Like why Cliff, team Heathcliff? I don't know. I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But why
I don't know, it's getting a little Wuthering Heights up in here, but we'll see.
though?
But sorry, my nerd is showing. But I think what's so beautiful about their relationship is each one is so independent and each one is so set in their ways, and yet there's something about the other, the fact that they have this familiarity from their childhood, and yet they've become such different people. It takes them a while to realize that they each have their own issues to overcome within themselves, but also something they can learn from each other, and something that is only possible through the different perspective that the other person can provide them, if only they're willing to take the leap and see it. And I think that's something that's, not only the most fun and beautiful thing about a new relationship is getting to learn how you are with your partner, and how your partner operates and how you operate together, but also being able to look inward and make new discoveries, and learn and grow as an individual as well.
Can I say I was kind of obsessed with the fashion in this movie? It was so good. I'm like, it was a lot of like just rustic chic sort of thing. It was a lot going on there, and it really suited the characters. So what was your favorite ensemble? Did you have one?
Ooh, I don't know. There were a few really good ones. I loved kind of the crazy get. I had a real affinity for the teal fur and the giant hat that I kept wearing backwards. He doesn't know anything. I just loved how wrong Heather got it for so, so long, until she finally got it right. Until she really realized that she kind of knew everything inherently anyway. She just had to lean into her roots and lean into everything she'd been avoiding and everything she'd been denying. And suddenly it goes from, comedy to romance in the blink of an eye.
What was your most challenging aspect of playing this part, and what was the most rewarding?
I think the most challenging aspect was getting George to stay on his mark. That pig was great and had a lovely time and great sense of comedic timing, but would not stand still for the life of any of us. But no, all jokes aside, I think it was kind of balancing Heather's journey, but that was also the most fun part. And the best part for me is making sure that all of those elements play in the right way, and the sort of symphony of what Heather is going through and all the things she's feeling and experiencing tracks. Especially because she is rather avoidant most of the film. You have to make sure that things are there. And that was great fun. We had such a good time building the chemistry and the community, and learning the line dance right before we shot it.
Did you really? Wow. That was probably fun, I'm sure.
Oh, so much. And all of the people dancing with us are professional competitive line dancers, and they are amazing.
Not intimidating at all. Just trying to
Oh,
keep up.
not all the
Not
time.
at all. Um, what do you hope people take away from this film? Like, what do you want? Why do you want people to tune in to Montana Mavericks?
I think it's cozy season, and I think it's exactly the kind of film that we all want to see right now. It's something that reminds us that love is real, and that friendship matters, and that it's sometimes you have to just dive in head first, and hope for the best when it comes to love, and sometimes you swim.